For 3 years now, I have spoken about the need to transition to physical monetary commodities. During that time, many people have been questioning why and what is the urgency. The reason for the why is because the currency that you are using has no value and is continuing to decline. The Australian dollar was debased by 18% in 2024 alone. And if you have cash in a commercial bank, you can get around about 5% interest. The difference is that when you are in decentralized assets and monetary commodities, their value functions independently of what's going on with centralization, government oversight, institutional overreach. And it removes your counterparty risk. It means that you are the sovereign holder of your wealth, which is exactly the way it used to be when we had a bimetallic standard. But since we introduced central banks, we have currency systems that are largely worthless. Right now, we are in a position of capital rotation. And for those people that don't understand what that means, rather than put your hands over your ears and saying it's all too hard, I don't get it. Capital rotation is what happens when traditional assets that you have largely been taught about in your life, stocks, shares, equities, bonds, annuities, treasuries, superannuation, 401ks, IRAs, pension funds, cash in a commercial bank and real estate. These are the traditional positions that you have been taught about. But what happens during a capital rotation is that confidence starts to wane in these markets, and we see capital outflows flowing into not just monetary commodities and decentralized positions, but into safe haven assets that can protect your wealth and the wealth of your family on a reset or repriced market. Never has it been more important than it is right now. Yes, I have spoken about this for 3 years, and there will still be people listening to this that will say, yes, but we've heard it all before. It's not happening. When's it going to happen? We are looking down the barrel of the first central bank digital currency in human history, a fully trackable, traceable, geo-fenced, geo-timed, programmable currency that is pegged not just to an ID, a centralized ID, but also to your social credit score, the value of which will be determined on what you say online and the things that you do and the way you go about your life and your way you use carbon credits and so on and so forth. We know this because the European Central Bank will drive the position. They are pushing for October 2025 because the UN, the United Nations, who is lobbied by the World Economic Forum, which is 1,000 corporate members and funded by the central bank system, the United Nations has determined that we really need to move forward with our Agenda 2030. And one of the primary drivers of that agenda is central bank digital currencies. Of course, digital IDs, of course, social credit scores, digital twin cities, digital twin healthcare programs. Yes, all of the above. But what you have to do in order to protect your lineage and yourself and your families and protect the wealth that you have amassed over your life, you must move decentralized. So when the world starts to become heavily centralized on globalist, non-elected bodies, you need to start being afraid, and you need to start moving your positions into decentralized asset positions. Primarily gold. Gold is the fundamental, constitutional, historic and intrinsic driver of all global monetary systems and has been since the dawn of time. Physical silver is the money of the people, and right now it is still accessible due to its low price point and its heavy manipulation. Bitcoin has been around since 2009 and has been the most successful decentralized trading asset in human history and will continue to do so. Gold has a market capitalization of about $24 trillion globally. Bitcoin and silver have about a $2 trillion market capitalization each. And at those sorts of market capitalizations, we should see Bitcoin between 10 and 12x on its current position, making it one of the optimal high risk, yes, high risk decentralized positions on the planet. Trying to do this reset in traditional assets will not be possible, given the fact that we already understand that the Agenda 2030 model, coupled with the World Economic Forum's idea of a real-world asset tokenized blockchain, along with Vanguard and State Street and BlackRock, and these huge multi-trillion-dollar asset pools, the world is looking down the barrel of a complete transition away from traditional thinking, traditional ownership, and traditional assets. And if you heard the word ownership in there, yes, the ownership of titles, land titles, is going to become highly problematic as we move forward, because in a tokenized world, on a tokenized blockchain, ownership is fundamentally not required, because the primary driver of the blockchain is something called mass liquidity, the ability to be able to convert assets instantly and easily into some kind of tradable liquid form. So the idea on this reset market is simple. You need to store your value in assets that have the ability to do so. Gold, silver, platinum, Bitcoin, fine art, collectibles, numismatics. These are the assets that can store value over time. All you have to do once we have gone through a reprice is unlock the value in those assets, either through selling down the assets for stable coin or central bank digital currency, or by leverage trading the assets. But if you try to do this reset, coupled to a promissory debt or a fractional reserve lending institution known as a commercial bank, buying traditional debt-based assets, then life going forward would become highly problematic. My message to you is decentralize, do it sooner rather than later. Gold, silver, Bitcoin, platinum, numismatics at the outside, and collectibles and fine art at the far end of that. But these are the assets that you need. If you need to know how to do it, all you need to do is contact myself at Beat the Reset, and I will get you connected. Make good choices.